right, let's get into it. This is a deep one, chosen ones. If you're watching this, maybe you felt it. That pull, that inner knowing that something about you is different. Like you've been called, destined to walk a path that's not just for you, but for others. Maybe you've asked yourself, am I a spiritual healer? Has God chosen me for something greater than I can even understand right now? Well, let me tell you, if you've been feeling these questions rise up inside of you, there's a reason for that. You're here because you're seeking confirmation of what your soul already knows. Being chosen by God as a spiritual healer is a profound gift. But it's not an easy one. It comes with responsibility, with growth, and with a deep calling to serve others and to heal not just yourself, but the world around you. So, how do you know if this is your path? What are the signs? Let's dive deep into this, and by the end of this journey, you'll have a much clearer understanding of whether you've been chosen as a spiritual healer. The first sign that you're chosen by God as a spiritual healer is you've always felt different. From a young age, you may have felt like you didn't quite fit in. It's like you were always on the outside, looking in, observing the world in a way that others didn't seem to. You could feel things, sense things that others couldn't. Maybe you were more sensitive to energy, to people's emotions, to the unspoken things that linger in the air. This feeling of being different wasn't just your imagination. It's a sign that you're tuned into a higher frequency, that you're connected to the spiritual realm in a way that others aren't.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why you're so sensitive? Why you feel so deeply when others seem to walk through life without noticing the things you do? That sensitivity, that feeling of being different is a sign that you've been chosen. God has placed a deeper awareness in you because He's preparing you for something greater. You're meant to see beyond the obvious and to understand the world in a way that allows you to heal it. The second sign is you've gone through immense personal struggle. Now, this might sound strange, but hear me out. If you've been chosen as a spiritual healer, you've likely endured some of the most intense challenges. Maybe you've gone through trauma, heartbreak, loss, or deep emotional pain. And you've probably asked yourself, why me? Why did I have to go through so much? But here's the truth. Your struggles are not a sign of punishment. They're a sign of preparation. God allows you to go through these challenges because they are what shape you into the healer you're meant to become. How can you heal others if you haven't experienced pain yourself? How can you guide others out of the darkness if you haven't walked through it? Let me ask you, what has your pain taught you? Because every challenge, every heartbreak, every obstacle is God's way of preparing you for your role as a healer. It's through your wounds that you gain the wisdom and empathy needed to help others heal theirs. The third sign is you feel a deep connection to nature and the universe. You might find that being in nature restores you in ways nothing else does. You feel the energy of the earth, the trees, the stars. When you look at the sky, you don't just see clouds, you see a reflection of something greater, something divine. You might even feel that the universe speaks to you in subtle ways, through synchronicities, through signs, through a deep sense of connection that you can't quite put into words. Have you ever felt like the universe is communicating with you? Maybe you see repeating numbers, or you feel like certain events are too perfectly aligned to be random. That's because when you're chosen as a spiritual healer, you're deeply connected to the energy of the universe. You're in tune with the flow of life, and you can sense the divine presence in everything around you. This connection to nature, to the universe, is a sign that you're not just here to live an ordinary life. You're here to serve a higher purpose. The fourth sign that you're chosen as a spiritual healer is people are naturally drawn to you for advice or comfort. Even if you don't consider yourself a healer yet, you might notice that people seem to come to you with their problems. They open up to you without even knowing why. Maybe you've had strangers tell you their life story, or friends seek you out when they need guidance or support. This isn't a coincidence. It's because your energy is healing, whether you're aware of it or not. On a subconscious level, people can sense that you're a source of comfort, of wisdom, of peace. Let me ask you, how often do people come to you for advice or just to talk? If this happens a lot, it's a sign that you're already stepping into your role as a healer, even if you haven't fully realized it yet. People are drawn to your light because they can feel the healing energy you radiate. You might not even have to say much. Just your presence alone is calming, is healing. The fifth sign is you have a strong intuition that always seems to guide you. You might find that you just know things without knowing how you know them. Maybe you get gut feelings about people or situations, and those feelings almost always turn out to be right. This intuitive ability is a gift from God. It's His way of communicating with you, guiding you along your path. As a spiritual healer, you're going to rely on this intuition more and more, because it's through this inner knowing that you'll be able to help others. So let me ask you, how often do you trust your intuition? Because if you're chosen as a healer, that inner voice is your most powerful tool. It's God speaking directly to you, guiding you toward the people and situations that need your healing energy. The sixth sign is you feel a deep desire to help others, even if you don't know how yet. This is one of the biggest signs. You might feel a strong pull to make a difference in the world, to help people in some way. Maybe you don't know exactly what that looks like yet, but you feel it in your soul. A desire to heal, to comfort, to uplift. This desire isn't random. It's a calling. It's God planting a seed in your heart. A seed that will grow as you step further into your role as a spiritual healer. Have you ever felt like you're meant to do more, to help others in a way that goes beyond the surface? That desire is your soul's way of reminding you of your purpose. It's a sign that you're here for something bigger, that you're meant to use your gifts to heal the world. And the seventh sign is you have a deep, unshakable faith in the divine plan. Even when things get tough, even when you don't understand what's happening, there's a part of you that trusts that everything is unfolding as it should. You know deep down that God has a plan for you, even if you can't see it clearly yet. This faith is what will carry you through the challenges of being a healer. It's what will keep you grounded, centered, and aligned with your purpose. So, let me ask you, do you trust the divine plan for your life? Because when you're chosen as a spiritual healer, that faith is your foundation. It's what will keep you strong, no matter what challenges come your way. All right, chosen ones, now that we've gone through the signs that God has chosen you as a spiritual healer, it's time to dive deeper. This is where it gets real. Knowing that you've been called is only the beginning. The next step is awakening to your true role and stepping fully into that responsibility. And let me tell you, this isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process, a journey of continual learning, growth, and transformation. The moment you realize that you're chosen is the moment your real work begins. So, how do you fully step into your role as a spiritual healer? The first thing you need to understand is that awakening is a process of alignment. It's about aligning your thoughts, actions, intentions, and energy with your higher purpose. When you're aligned with your calling, everything starts to flow. You're no longer pushing against life, trying to force things to happen. Instead, you're in tune with the divine energy that's guiding you. You begin to flow with life, and that's when you can truly step into your role as a healer. Let me ask you something. Do you feel aligned with your purpose right now? Do you feel like you're still searching for that clarity? If you don't feel fully aligned yet, that's okay. Awakening to your role as a spiritual healer often begins with a period of confusion or uncertainty. The key is to embrace this stage, knowing that it's part of the process. You're not supposed to have all the answers right away. Awakening is about surrendering to the journey and trusting that clarity will come as you continue to walk your path. One of the most important steps in this awakening process is developing self-awareness. As a healer, you need to be deeply in tune with your own energy, your thoughts, and your emotions. You cannot heal others if you are not first healing yourself. This means you need to constantly check in with yourself. How am I feeling energetically? Am I carrying any unresolved emotions or limiting beliefs that are blocking my energy? This is where the inner work comes in. Spiritual healing doesn't just happen on the outside, it starts within. You need to take the time to heal your own wounds, to confront your own shadows, and to break free from any patterns that are holding you back. It's not always easy. In fact, it can be one of the most challenging parts of the journey. But the more you heal yourself, the more powerful you become as a healer for others. Let me ask you again, chosen one, are you doing the inner work? Because if you want to fully step into your role as a spiritual healer, you must commit to your own healing first. This is a lifelong process there will always be new layers of healing to uncover, but every time you work through something, you gain more wisdom, more strength, and more compassion for those you're here to help. Another key to stepping into your role is trusting your gifts. As a spiritual healer, you have unique abilities that allow you to connect with others on a deep, energetic level. Maybe you're an empath, able to feel the emotions of others as if they were your own. Maybe you have a strong intuition that always seems to guide you in the right direction. Or maybe you have healing hands, able to channel energy in a way that brings balance and peace to those around you. Whatever your gifts are, they are God-given and they are meant to be used. But here's the thing, many spiritual healers struggle with self-doubt. You might question whether your gifts are real. You might wonder if you're really capable of helping others. This is normal. In fact, it's part of the journey. But if you want to fully step into your role, you have to trust your gifts. You have to believe that God wouldn't have given them to you if they weren't meant to be used. Let me ask you, do you trust your gifts? Or are you holding back, afraid of what others might think, or afraid of stepping into your full power? If there's any part of you that doubts your abilities, it's time to let that go. Your gifts are real and they are needed in this world. The more you trust in them, the more powerful they become. Now, part of awakening to your role as a spiritual healer is also learning how to protect your energy. As a healer, you're going to be working with a lot of different energies, especially if you're helping others release their pain, trauma, or emotional blockages. It's easy to take on these energies if you're not careful, and that can drain you, leaving you feeling exhausted or overwhelmed. So how do you protect your energy? The first step is setting energetic boundaries. This means being intentional about who you allow into your space and how much of your energy you give away. It's okay to say no. It's okay to take time for yourself. In fact, it's essential. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? So make sure you're filling your own cup first before you try to help others. Another powerful tool for protecting your energy is grounding. Grounding is the practice of connecting your energy to the earth, which helps you stay balanced and centered. There are many ways to ground yourself. Spending time in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, meditating, or even visualizing roots extending from your body into the ground. When you're grounded, you're much less likely to be thrown off by the energies around you. Let me ask you, are you protecting your energy? If not, this is something you need to start doing immediately. As a spiritual healer, your energy is your most valuable asset, and it's your responsibility to take care of it. Finally, to fully step into your role as a spiritual healer, you need to commit to service. This is what it all comes down to. Being a healer is not about personal gain or recognition. It's about serving others. It's about using your gifts to uplift, to comfort, and to heal those who are suffering. And this service doesn't always come in grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as offering a kind word, a listening ear, or a moment of compassion to someone who needs it. The more you focus on service, the more aligned you become with your purpose, And here's the beautiful thing. When you're in alignment with your purpose, everything in your life begins to fall into place. Opportunities show up, synchronicities appear, the right people come into your life. It's as if the universe is conspiring to support you, because it is. When you step into your role as a healer, God is with you every step of the way. So let me ask you, are you ready to commit to service? Because this is what it means to fully step into your role as a spiritual healer. It's not about you. It's about how you can use your gifts to make the world a better place. All right, chosen one. Now that you're awakening to your role and beginning to step into your purpose as a spiritual healer, let's talk about something that's absolutely inevitable on this journey. Challenges. Yes, even when you're walking a path that's divinely guided, even when your intentions are pure and your heart is open, you're going to face obstacles. But here's the thing. These obstacles aren't here to stop you. They're here to shape you. They're part of the process, and how you handle them will define your growth as a spiritual healer. So, let's dive into some of the most common challenges you'll face and, more importantly, how to overcome them. One of the first challenges many spiritual healers face is self-doubt. This is a big one. You've probably had moments where you've questioned your abilities, wondered if you're truly meant for this path, or even doubted whether you're doing enough. That voice inside your head, that inner critic, can be relentless. It might tell you that you're not qualified, that you're not special, or that someone else could do it better. But let me tell you something. That voice is not the truth. That voice is fear, and fear only shows up when you're on the verge of something great. Let me ask you, how often has self-doubt stopped you from stepping fully into your power? If this is something you've struggled with, know that it's completely normal. Every healer goes through this. The key is not to let that doubt stop you. When those thoughts creep in, remind yourself of the signs you've been given, of the experiences that have led you to this moment. Trust that God wouldn't have chosen you if you weren't ready. Another challenge many spiritual healers face is energy depletion. As you step into your healing role, you'll find that people are drawn to your light. They'll come to you for advice, for comfort, for healing, and while this is a beautiful validation of your gifts, it can also be draining if you're not careful. You might find yourself feeling exhausted, emotionally drained, or even overwhelmed by the energy of those around you. So, how do you overcome this? The key is to balance giving with receiving. Yes, you're here to help others, but you also need to take care of yourself. You need to make time for rest, for self-care, and for activities that replenish your energy. This could be meditation, spending time in nature, journaling, or even simply taking a break from social interactions when you need it. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. The more you take care of yourself, the more you'll be able to give to others. Let me ask you, are you taking care of your own energy? Or are you giving so much that you're feeling depleted? If you're feeling drained, it's time to make self-care a priority. This isn't selfish, it's essential. The stronger and more balanced you are, the more powerful your healing energy becomes. Another challenge you might face is dealing with negativity or resistance from others. Not everyone is going to understand your path. Some people might question your beliefs, doubt your abilities, or even criticize you for stepping into your role as a healer. This can be especially difficult if the resistance comes from people close to you, friends, family, or colleagues. You might feel misunderstood or even isolated at times. But here's the thing, not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Your path is unique, and not everyone will be able to see what you see. That's okay. Your role as a healer is not to convince others or to seek validation from them. Your role is to stay true to your calling, regardless of what others think. When you encounter resistance or negativity, don't take it personally. See it as a reflection of where that person is on their own journey, not as a reflection of your worth or your gifts. Let me ask you, how much of your energy are you spending worrying about what others think of your spiritual path? If you're finding that other people's opinions are holding you back, it's time to release that. You don't need anyone's approval to be who you're meant to be. Your validation comes from within, from your connection to God and your purpose. One of the most subtle but powerful challenges you'll face is the fear of failure. This can show up in many ways. Maybe you're afraid of not being able to help someone. Maybe you fear that your healing won't be enough, or that you'll make a mistake. This fear can sometimes paralyze you, keeping you from stepping fully into your role. But here's a truth that every spiritual healer must accept. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to offer your love, your wisdom, and your energy to the best of your ability. And that is always enough. Let me ask you, how often do you allow the fear of failure to stop you from taking action? If this resonates with you, it's time to shift your perspective. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. Every time you step into your role as a healer, even if you don't see immediate results, you're planting seeds. You're doing the work you were meant to do, and the results will unfold in divine timing. Finally, one of the greatest challenges is keeping your faith strong when the path gets difficult. There will be times when the weight of your calling feels heavy, when you wonder if you're truly making a difference. In these moments, it's essential to come back to your faith. Remember why you've been chosen. Remember the signs, the synchronicities, the moments when you felt God's presence guiding you. Your faith is your anchor, and it will carry you through the hardest moments. Let me ask you, when was the last time you truly surrendered to the divine plan for your life? If it's been a while, maybe it's time to reconnect with that faith, to trust that every challenge you face is part of your growth as a healer. All right, chosen one, now that we've explored the challenges you'll face on your path as a spiritual healer, let's take it a step further. It's time to talk about mastery. You've been called, you've awakened to your role, and you're learning how to navigate the obstacles along the way. But there's more. There's always more. You're not just here to realize you're a healer. You're here to expand your healing powers and step fully into your divine purpose, to manifest the highest version of yourself, the healer you're destined to become. So, how do you go from simply knowing you're a healer to mastering your gift? The first thing you need to understand is that mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, and it requires dedication, practice, and a willingness to go deeper than you ever have before. One of the keys to expanding your healing powers is continuous learning. Even though you've been chosen, it doesn't mean there's nothing more to learn. In fact, the opposite is true. The more you grow, the more you realize how much more there is to discover, both about yourself and the spiritual world. This is where humility comes in. You must be willing to be a student of life, a student of spirit. Seek out new knowledge, new practices, new ways to deepen your connection to the divine and to those you're here to help. Let me ask you, when was the last time you actively sought new spiritual wisdom? Whether it's reading a book, attending a workshop, or learning from other healers, this journey is about expanding your knowledge and your abilities. The more you open yourself up to learning, the more powerful your gift becomes. Remember, mastery is not about knowing everything. It's about staying curious and open to the infinite wisdom that's available to you. Another vital aspect of mastering your gift is deepening your connection with the divine. As a spiritual healer, you're a channel for divine energy. You're not doing this work alone. You're working with the energy of the universe, with God, with higher consciousness. To truly step into mastery, you need to cultivate a deep, consistent connection with this higher power. How do you do that? Through daily spiritual practices, whether it's prayer, meditation, breathwork, or simply spending time in silence. These practices are what keep you aligned with the divine. They're what allow you to tap into the higher realms of consciousness where true healing power resides. Think of these practices as your anchor. They keep you grounded, centered, and connected to the source of your healing energy. Let me ask you, how consistent are you in your spiritual practices? If you're serious about mastering your gift, this is non-negotiable. You need to make time every day to connect with the divine, to recharge, to receive guidance. The more disciplined you are in your spiritual practices, the stronger your healing powers will become. Another key to expanding your healing powers is developing your intuition. As a spiritual healer, your intuition is one of your greatest tools. It's how you receive guidance, how you know what someone needs, how you navigate the unseen realms of energy and emotion. But here's the thing, intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So, how do you develop your intuition? The first step is to trust it. When you get that gut feeling, that inner knowing, listen. Don't second guess yourself. The more you trust your intuition, the more accurate and powerful it becomes. Another way to develop your intuition is through meditative practices that quiet the mind. The quieter your mind, the easier it is to hear the subtle whispers of your intuition. Let me ask you, how often do you trust your gut instincts? If you've been ignoring or doubting your intuition, it's time to start listening. Your intuition is a direct line to the divine, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have as a healer. The more you cultivate it, the more you can offer to those you're here to serve. Now, let's talk about energy work. As a spiritual healer, you're working with energy all the time, whether you realize it or not. One of the most powerful ways to expand your healing abilities is to become more intentional about how you work with energy. This might include learning about different modalities like Reiki, chakra healing, or other forms of energy work that resonate with you. The more you understand energy, how it flows, how it gets blocked, how to balance it, the more effective you'll be as a healer. Let me ask you, how familiar are you with energy healing techniques? If this is an area you haven't explored deeply yet, it's time to dive in. Energy is the foundation of all healing, and the more you understand it, the more powerful your healing abilities will become. Whether through formal training or intuitive practice, learning to work with energy is essential for mastering your gift. Lastly, to truly expand your healing powers, you need to embrace your unique style. Every healer is different. You have your own strengths, your own way of connecting with others, your own approach to healing. Don't try to fit into someone else's mold. The more you embrace your unique gifts, the more impactful you'll be. Maybe you're a healer who works with words, as someone who brings healing through deep conversations or writing. Or maybe you're someone who heals through touch, or through the energy you bring into a room. Whatever your unique gift is, own it. Step into it fully. Let me ask you, are you embracing your unique style as a healer, or are you trying to be like someone else? The world needs your unique gifts, not a copy of someone else. The more you embrace who you are, the more powerful your healing becomes. In the end, mastery is not about perfection, it's about alignment. It's about aligning with your purpose, deepening your connection with the divine, and continuously expanding your knowledge and abilities. You are here for a reason. You've been chosen for a reason. And the more you step into that truth, the more your life and the lives of those you touch will transform. And just like that, you're on your way to mastering your gift and fulfilling your divine purpose. The journey doesn't end here. It never truly ends. There will always be more to learn, more to heal, more to discover. But you're ready, you're chosen, and this is your time.